Hello, welcome to Brady MonEight, December 12th, 2016. It's 12/12. Happy Dozen Day. It's my new holiday. I just started it. It's a great day because 12 is the best number. It's my favorite number. Eggs and clocks, and it's divisible by 2, 3, and 6, and months in the year. I mean, it's just the best number. It's all over the place. So why shouldn't today be a holiday? Well, it is now. So go set your clocks. I'm going to go double check all my clocks are exactly on. Anyway, today, really what's been on my mind is a concept that I use to define karma in my own head, the way that I've come to understand it. Um, it's if anyone has ever seen The Secret or read that book, I don't love the way they spin it, but their basic idea is if you send positive out into the world or you envision in your mind all the things that you want, they will come to you. And that's an interesting idea, and I think it's got some credit. But I think it's less mystical than that and more mathematical. And so I have what I call my bubbles theory. I came up with this maybe a decade ago, and it's the way I like to define karma. It's I imagine a bowl, a gigantic bowl full of bubbles, full of little spheres, and each one of those spheres is, say, a world or an event that could happen in your life. And so the worlds could be everything from what school you go to little things like what happens during your day, whether or not you run into somebody on the street. Um, so the basic premise of my idea is that you can't control which bubble gets picked. That's just life. But you can control which bubbles go into the bowl. So say for instance, if I live in Provo, where I do live, where there's lots of people that I know, my chances of running into somebody I know are very high because there's lots of people here that I know. Whereas if I lived in Russia, my chances of running into somebody I know are real slim because I've eliminated all those bubbles. Or for instance, if you decide to go to grad school, which is what I'm working on doing right now, if you only apply to one grad school, your chances of getting an opportunity are low. Whereas if you apply to a lot of grad schools, you're putting more opportunities out there for those things to get chosen. So I like to think of it as you can arrange those bubbles, and those things come in the form of where you are, what you do, how you treat people, um, the places you put yourself, the attitudes you send out to others, smiles that you give. You give smiles and you do service for others. The chances of someone being there when you're in need are higher. And I just like to think of it as there's billions and billions of bubbles in this one, and you can drop in a huge load. Maybe I can put in 100,000 bubbles by making sure that I am in a certain place at a certain time. But if you're only putting one or two bubbles in there, just like, hey, I only smile once or twice a month at people, then your chances of reciprocating those bubbles go down. It's just a random idea that I have. I don't know. But it also draws me to my next thought that I'd like to share today, and it kind of relates to all my posts that I'm doing and why I'm doing this, and that is just the sharing of knowledge. I like to do this because I feel like I have knowledge that I'd like to share. And I feel like every human has knowledge that they can share, similar to my idea in a previous post about treating everyone like they're the master and you're the apprentice. There's so much knowledge out there, and that knowledge not only is valued in its context, like the actual knowledge itself, but it's also valuable in the way that it's explained or the way that it's understood. And that's why I like to share what I have, because I have been given knowledge by so many people. Sometimes they didn't even realize they were giving it to me, only because they spun it in a different way or they have a different viewpoint. I think that's what's so great about being on this earth with so many different people, is that the same bit of knowledge could be explained to me a dozen times, because today's 12/12, a dozen times, but one of those times may just impact me in a certain way because of the way that person conceptualized it. So that's why I like to share knowledge. That's why I feel the desire to take what I've been given and share it in a new light. And maybe that will help somebody see something in a new way. It's something they may have already heard, but they see it in a new way that will help them. And I just feel there's so much value that I've gained from other people, and I feel like I want to share that, and I feel like that will bring more knowledge to me by sharing my knowledge. And that's my thoughts for today.